Welcome back to the channel. We are obviously not in my in my basement inside of my normal game room studio. So we're actually going to record this review. We are currently in Marco Island, Florida. If you've never been there, it's kind of by Naples. It's directly west of Fort Lauderdale or Miami, right across it's on the Gulf side. We are at the JW Marriott, and I'm here for a couple days, a Sunday through Wednesday setup because I have a work conference down here. So I'm bringing you a perspective of somebody who's staying here, kind of giving you the amenities as being a regular guest on vacation, but also I want to give a little input into coming here for like a work conference because there's a lot of things that I've been through in these last couple days with being part of a group for work here that not everybody may get to see. So we're going to cover some of that as well. But to prove to you, obviously this is the hotel room, which we're going to go in full detail, but there's a ton of other stuff I want to get through. As always, I have my notes and my list, but just to prove to you that this is real, this is out my window. If I held a newspaper, like I could tell you it's a real day, but anyway, we'll cut out of this and we'll get into the intro and we'll get into everything right after this. All right, once again, back in the hotel room. As always, like I spoke about, I have a ton of notes. We're gonna break down into 3 different videos. I'll have tons of B-roll as always in these review videos for travel. And as we cut down through the pieces, I'll drop in that B-roll as we're going through. So 3 different videos. The first one is going to be around just resort layout, surrounding area, room quality, just kind of the general layout of the entire resort because it's actually quite big. Episode 2 is going to be all the restaurants per the usual. I like to do episode 2 around the restaurants because it's the second most important thing, at least in my mind. And then episode 3 is going to be around the pools and beaches, so anything to deal with water. So just a heads up, if you watch the first one and you want to get into the restaurants, video 2 and then video 3 will be everything that pertains to the water. So, all right, flying in, I flew into Fort Myers, which is a small airport. I actually don't have any footage. I might get some footage of that on my way back out, but smaller. It's not a super big airport. I mean, I think there's like 11 or 12 gates there, so nothing crazy. It was nice. I was literally in and out of there pretty quick. Security line, when I was walking out, it looks like they only had like 2 main lines for security, so just realize if it's a busy season for coming down here, it may take you a little bit longer than a normal airport to get through security, because it seemed to be only 2 actual checkpoints of security, and then 2 lines were going through, with the bags and scanning all your stuff. So no real issue on the airport down here. For me, at least, there was a bunch of issues with the rental car area, but that was mostly because 2 of the companies, their computer programs like went down. So I went right through. I had no issues. I used Enterprise, none at all. Grabbed my car within 30 minutes and I was out of there. So, but there was like a 200-person line at a couple other companies. So just a heads up, it's probably, it's not the airline's fault or the companies. It just kind of happens sometimes. So, but I had other people in the party that I'm down here with that had those same issues. So surrounding area, I have footage of driving in. It's pretty cool. Marco Island is considered an island. There's lots of waterways that run through the entire island, and what's really neat and what I noticed, which is quite different from a lot of places like this, is all like the beach has all like the high rises, right? The condos or the hotels like this, and everything else is like house level. So they don't have anything above house level. So it's nothing but trees and roofs if you have a pretty high vantage point, which I do, which I can show you from the 9th floor. But pretty cool that they keep everything else at a very consistent. It's very much like Hilton Head when I was there. Everything keeps a very similar like feel and look. So normal stores don't look like normal stores because they keep a certain ambiance and a structure and color scheme throughout the entire island. So just realize that. So I went to TripAdvisor and looked up a local breakfast place because I'm a huge breakfast fan, as some of you may know. So Empire Bagel Factory is what it's called. It's exactly 1.2 miles from the JW Marriott. You just go out the Marriott and make a left, and I walked it. It was a 22-minute walk. But I'm a huge fan of breakfast sandwiches, breakfast in general, so I wanted to check out a bagel sandwich or a place that was in the surrounding area. So went there, Really good. It was excellent. Still doesn't beat out my local bagels, my local bagel place, but the bagels are very good. And one thing I did notice about the food was it was pretty quick. We got there actually right before like a major crowd came in, which it seemed like it was taking a little bit longer to get people their food, but we got in there right before that. So we hit it about I think like 8:20 in the morning on a Monday. So just realize as the work crowd comes in, you may have a longer wait, but food was excellent. The bagels had lots of stuff on it. Like I got an everything bagel. There was massive amounts of everything. So and all the bagels looked like that way. The onion bagels, there was just lots of seasoning or whatever the type of bagel was. Seems like they did a good job there. I got ham, egg, and cheese, and it was excellent. So Empire Bagel Factory, it was really high up on the list on TripAdvisor, which is why I wanted to try it out. And obviously because I'm a breakfast nerd, I love breakfast so much. So. Tiger Tail Beach is really close as well. It's supposed to be really good for seashells and like shell hunting. I didn't actually go there. It's only a couple miles down the street, and there's signs all over the island for it on how to get there. So pretty easy to find, but I did not check it out. Just realized that right next to Tiger Tail is also a bird sanctuary, so you cannot fly drones there. You can't fly drones within 700 feet of the bird sanctuary. If you've ever flown a drone and gotten attacked by birds, it's a quite scary thing. So that is one of the main reasons, because birds are not afraid to go after a drone. And obviously you don't want to hurt the wildlife, or, on top of that, if you end up hurting the wildlife and losing your drone, the same thing, that would not be good. So just a heads up there, if you are heading to Tiger Tail Beach and you want to take drone, you're not supposed to, based on the rules that are down here. If you're a golfer, I didn't go to either of the golf courses, but the in the hotel like pamphlet and the website, they talk about the Rookery, which is 8.9 miles away from this resort. It's 18-hole par 72, and they also have like their clubhouse, where you can order food, is actually tied to the JW Marriott. The other one that's also tied here is Hammock Bay. That's 6.2 miles away, also 18 holes, also a par 72. I'm not a golfer. I just like to lay that in there because I know some people that are watching this possibly are. There's plenty of golf courses in the area as well, beyond those two, but those two are tied to the JW Marriott. So that's everything in the surrounding area. Let's get into the rest, the meat of the resort layout. So, pull up the map here. This whole place is, and I have the map right here because I kind of want to reference it. The whole place is kind of broken up into 3 sections. If you're looking at the hotel, the far right side is like the Palms. It's the Palms Tower and the Palms Ballroom. That also has like the spa and the salon at that end. So they have a pretty big spa. I didn't actually go in because you kind of have to make reservations and to get in, and I didn't go through the front door to make a big spiel because I didn't want to cause a ruckus. But they have a whole hair salon in there, and then plus the spa, and the spa has its own pool as well, and it's pretty secluded. It seemed to be pretty quiet back there as well, and they had the rules like posted on the side of the pool and everything like that. So you can certainly check that out. They had a giant ballroom down there as well, and then they had like a terrace with a big kind of a grassy area. The first or second night I was here, there must have been a huge wedding or something going on down there, because when I was down there like kind of rummaging around looking for video footage to get to the area, they had a live band, and it was rocking, and there was people coming in and out of the door. So if you were staying in that Palms Tower and you're facing the Palms lawn, it must have been absolutely bumping in your room, because it was pretty loud. So if you're moving then towards the left, if you're looking at the resort and the roads to your back, you'll run into, there's kind of like it's not a skyway, but it's kind of like a long row or a long hallway, and it has like boutiques and shops along that. And they have clothing stores, they have a jewelry store. That's where the cafe or the coffee bistro is, and we'll get into that in the restaurants. They have some clothing stores. They also have like a tiny surf shop with like amenities and toothbrushes, and they also have sunscreens and things like that, but also like swimsuits and things. And then there's another, I believe, another clothing store as well. I'm jumping around a little bit more, but I want to go down the map. Next to that is the Island Tower. So Island and Palms Tower are the same. They're like that's the everybody resort, so the family side resort or anybody else. And then In between the Palm and the Island Tower is the Tiki Pool. So it's more of like the kids' pool. It's not as deep. There's lots of like water things that spray around as well, but we'll get into those in the pools. And then when you come next to the Island Tower, that is where the resort lobby is. So where you check in, they have a couple of restaurants there as well. And you walk in like they have the nice big front entrance way that you drive up. Outside of the resort lobby, they have the Quinn's Pool. And then next to that is the Paradise by Serene, which is an all adult kind of tower. So you have to be 21 or older to get into that. And they call it Lanai, Lani Tower. And then there's a couple different things inside of that tower which we can get into. But actually, I got upgraded. That's where I am right now. This is actually the adult side. I got upgraded for free when I checked in, and we'll get into that whole thing as well. But wasn't expecting to get any footage on this side because I didn't think I was going to be allowed in. But we got lots of footage because I got upgraded to this side. Not sure why, but I did, and it was pretty great. So I can talk about both sides a little bit. I didn't get to stay obviously in the Island Tower or the Palms Tower, but I've heard the feedback from other people that are here on the trip. And then I also got like a 360 view that they sent me a link to. I was able to pull screenshots of what those rooms look as well, so we can look at both rooms. So that's want to make sure I got everything. That's kind of the main. So there's 3 main towers, 2 of them being everyone or family, 1 of them being Paradise by Serene, which is only adults 21 and older. And that comes with its own 5th floor pool. It comes with its own restaurant on the 5th floor as well, its own fitness center. And we can get into the deep dive into that as well. So check in 4 p.m. I checked in almost right around 4. It was like 3:45. Our plane was super late coming down. It was an awful experience. So I didn't have any problems checking in. It was about 5-minute wait. I did hear from other people they waited like a half an hour because it was a little bit after 4, and it must have been like when everybody was trying to check in. The check-in had like 3 different kiosks that people were working through, but I didn't have any issues. But realized that a 20-minute wait may not be out of the realm. Checkout is 11, pretty standard. The interesting thing here, wristbands. So I'll put up some pictures, but the wristbands are your keys to not only get into pools, but also get into your room. So it's kind of like Walt Disney-esque. They have 2 different kinds. The Paradise side has like the Walt Disney World bands, and then the Island Tower and the Palms Tower have more of like it's just like it's not like as loose or like neoprene like this. It's more of like a wristband type thing. It's still like plastic or fabric. I don't know. It's a weird material, but I have pictures of both of those. But realize that's your room key to get into your room. They don't give you cards. Smoke-free facility. I didn't see any. I'm sure there's a smoking section somewhere on the premises, but I didn't see it, or I'm not a smoker, so I didn't go looking, but I didn't find it. There's also no pets allowed on the resort. Another thing about the resort from a global perspective, not really global, but just an overall, I don't know why I said global. This is not an all-inclusive. So, resorts, you think sometimes about all-inclusives in the Caribbean, things like that, but this is not. So, the rooms, from what I'm understanding, are quite expensive. We get a huge discount for being a group that comes down here, but from what I heard, the rooms are pretty expensive. I know that we got some lunch vouchers and things like that, but from the menus I saw, the food is quite pricey as well. I got fish tacos, and they were like 24, 26, 28 bucks for 3 fish tacos. And the alcohol is very expensive as well. So just realize that coming here, the rooms are a bit pricey. The island's amazing, and I get why. I can understand why probably it's quite exclusive. But it's gonna cost some money to stay here for a week, especially if you have like kids and a family and everything. It can get pretty pricey pretty quick. So heads up there. Parking. So when you pull up, there's like the ramp up to like where the lobby is to check in. It's actually pretty steep, but it's kind of cool how they did it because they have a huge like rock face in the front. When you pull up, you just kind of, a person's out there asking, what you want to do. There's valet or self-parking. The valet is only an extra $5 a day, and then it's the same parking lot. It's across the street. It's just they'll run and get your car for you, and they'll also bring your bags up to you. I only had to carry on my backpack, so I just self-parked. It wasn't a big deal. You just have to, you go up the ramp, and then you go right back down the ramp. You go across across the street, which is actually a 2-lane and a 2-lane. So you kind of have to make sure you shoot across, and the parking lot's literally right next door. I haven't moved my car, I think, since I've gotten here. So, and then the valet section is just the first section of that parking lot. It's not like it's not under a parking garage or anything like that. It's the same exact lot. It's just in its own segmented section. And then they'll just run and get the car for you instead of walking across the street. So it's totally up to you. It's $5 extra. It's not drastically different. It's just, I didn't really want to deal with having to go through all that. So I just drove over myself. There is an electric car charging station as well. I saw that there was some cars charged there or parked there. So it's $25 daily for self. It is $30 for the valet daily. Amenities. They have a pretty extensive game room, like an arcade, which is also tied into one of the restaurants, which we can go in more depth during that time period. But the arcade's pretty massive. They even have like tickets that you can like get prizes and things like that. So it's pretty legit. They do have a dry cleaning service, like I talked about. They have a hair salon and a spa. The spa. These are just some of the things I saw on the website: body scrub, body wrap, facials, massages. Paraffin hand treatment. I don't know what that is, so maybe somebody can tell me in the comments. They have fitness classes, they have a steam room, and then they have therapy bath. And they had some more stuff as well on the website, so the spa seems to be pretty extensive. They have a big sign out front too by the road about the spa specifically, so I'm sure it's used even more, or not just for guests. So make a reservation if you want to go there. The next thing I want to talk about is the meeting, kind of the whole thing. So if you're coming for like a conference or you're coming for work, they have a massive amount of meeting space. There was like 3 other big groups going on, I think, when we were down here, while we've been down here, and they have tons of rooms. They have rooms all over the place, and they set up like breakfast areas and food for lunch like right outside of your conference room, so you don't have to go far. You don't have to go to a totally different location. They keep everything very consolidated. Everything was set up. The tech was super smooth. There wasn't any issues with projection or anything. The rooms were great. The tables that they had actually had plugs for your laptop. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, so everything was really thought out. And then all the food options were like kind of buffet style, but it was all very good. So the meeting room and the conference room and all that stuff was excellent. We actually just had our presentation today, so that all went super smooth. If there was hiccups as just a person there for the conference, we didn't notice anything, and everything was taken care of that we could have wanted. So it was a very good experience. They also, since we've been here, we have dinners at night as a group. There's about just under 100 of us, and they have large group dinner accommodations, and ours have all been outside so far in different parts of the resort. Like the one night, it was at the Tiki Terrace where they had a bunch of standing tables and sitting tables, and the food was, in different kiosks. Same thing last night, they actually had it on the beach. Same setup, they had different kiosks of food, and then all the tables surrounded. And then tonight we're at the Palms Lawn, which is where that wedding was. I think that's where we're having our final dinner. But all the food's been really excellent. Plenty of food, no issues. Desserts, all kinds of different food as well. So secret, and we'll get into more of the food, but the mac and cheese is so good. So they have like a kids kiosk station, which it was funny because everybody was like making fun of everyone that was going to go over to get mac and cheese, but the mac and cheese was amazing. So secret little caveat there. We talked about the boutique shops in that row as well. They do have a laundry service, and I know they said dry clean, but I think they also have like a separate laundry service. I haven't used any of that. I'm only here for a couple of days, so it's not a big deal for me there. Like I talked about the fitness center. There's like a spa fitness center that said 24 hours, which was all the way over at the Palms Ballroom, so the far to the right if you're looking at the resort, and the road's to your back. I didn't get to go in it because I was trying to use my wristband to get into there, but it wasn't working, so I don't know if that's just for the spa. But there's also a fitness center in the Islands Tower, so I'm assuming that's the general one, that it's 24 hours that you can go to all the time. And then there's also a fitness center in the Paradise side, which I'll have video for, that I was able to get into, which is really just for the adult section. So lots of fitness centers all over the place if you're into working out, which is pretty good. Covered that. Just so I want to talk a little bit extensively about the Paradise side, since I got upgraded and we might as well, right? So it's exclusively adults, section 21 and over. It has 94 guest rooms and suites. It has a complimentary continental breakfast for two daily as well. So that comes, they said it's an extra $100 a night is what they said when I was checking in. Obviously because I got upgraded, I don't have to pay that, but that's just for, for information. They have a private section on the beach, which I'm assuming is right in front of the actual tower of the Paradise by Serene. I didn't use it. I was only on the beach a little bit yesterday, but that was we had our own section already, so I wasn't too worried about that. They do have a 5th floor pool, which is by their 5th floor, one of their restaurants and like bar section, and they have a hot tub on that section. But it's cool. It's like an infinity pool, and they have like a glass railing that runs all the way around, so you can see right out to the Gulf, which is really nice. It's probably one of the nicest things about being on this site, and it's just very quiet. And there's also a personal concierge that comes with this side that you can call to set things up. Like if you want to go somewhere or a restaurant reservation, or you need, transportation to the airport or something like that, they take care of all that. So what was neat is when I got checked in and then they told me to go to this other check-in area, which is where the concierge place was, which I can show you that, they give you like a free drink as well. So I got a free beer. And then they let you know about the concierge service, and if there's anything you need outside of that, they text you a number and you can text them back and forth to communicate if you need anything. So that's pretty cool, and it comes with this entire tower apparently, which is kind of nice. I don't know how busy they get, or if you have to wait. I haven't really used it very much. I don't have a whole lot going on, so that's kind of the Paradise side. I don't have it, just besides the the different wristbands. It's been pretty good. It's been really quiet. I did ask the concierge today how full they were, and they said they're they're pretty close to capacity. I'm assuming, because I was asking to look at an island or a Palms Tower room, but I'll be able to show that because of the 360 tour they got. But they said those towers were like pretty much at capacity, because they couldn't show me a room that was already locked in for someone, which makes sense. I don't know how full the Paradise by Serene side was, but I've literally only seen like one person when I walk out of my room. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how busy it is, but they said the other side's almost at capacity. So it's been very quiet on this side, which has been nice. I have heard from people in my party that said that the other side is pretty loud in the middle of the day, or towards the evening, because there's lots of kids, lots of families, they're running around doing all that stuff. So heads up. Okay, let's get into the room itself. I want to walk through the main things that you can see behind me, the things I like to cover in the rooms, and I'll talk about both rooms. I don't have experience with the other room, but I have the pictures from that as well. So, so room walkthrough. Right when I walked into the Paradise room, it's gorgeous, as you can see. Super clean, nice large bathroom, double sink as well in the bathroom, nice glass shower. The toilet was actually in its own section, like a closet. You can close the door. It had, the barn doors, which you guys know from the Dominican. I'm not a fan of the barn doors, but because like the toilet's in its own closet, it's not a huge ordeal. But classy. I mean, lots of towels, no worries there. Bath mat, lots of amenities like the shampoos and conditioners and body wash and things like that. Washcloths. there was washcloths here, so not like the Dominican there either, because they for some reason don't give you washcloths. Everything was really well laid out. No really problems with the walkthrough or anything like that. I'm on the 9th floor currently. Another room layout here. Nothing's really odd or anything. It's like a typical hotel room, as you'll see. Cleanliness it's very clean. It's very clean even after the room service as well. Absolutely no issues. They do a good job. But I'm also one person. I'm not causing a huge mess, so I don't know what it looks like if you have kids, and everything could turn into a disaster. Air conditioning's been great. Actually, I had it set to like 68. It was just a tad bit warm, so I cranked it down a little bit, and right now it feels great. And you just do that from the wall right here, and it works fine. Works great. No issues. They don't have, like in the Dominican, when you open the door, the air conditioning would shut off. They don't have that here, but they just have a sticker on the door. It says like, please, be aware that the door's open and your air conditioning's on. So they don't have that auto off situation. Amenities, just a small coffee bar and some water. There's multiple waters. There's the small bottles, and then I also have the They also have Voss waters in here. I don't know if the other rooms have those, but both small bottles. And then before I usually go, I run to Walgreens or something before I get to the hotel and just grab like a case of Smart Water or something because I go through a lot of water normally. So mini fridge as well, nothing in it. It's not stocked with anything. It's just a tiny fridge and a cabinet. Besides that and the coffee, there's not too much else in here. No snacks or anything like that. Robes. There was one robe in the closet. I didn't wear it, didn't try it, as you know. I don't know how good it is, but it looked normal and felt normal to me. Toilet paper, fine. No issues there. It's not like they skimped and went one ply or anything like that. Shower pressure is good. They had the rain shower and they also wand, and both of them have good pressure. Also gets super hot. So it's not like a lukewarm situation, but the pressure out of the rain and the pressure out of the wand, and I could actually use both. In the Dominican, remember, my knob was broken, I couldn't switch between the two. This worked totally fine. Actually, it was on the wand, and when I turned on the shower, it like sprayed me right in the face. It was so funny, and I was like, oh my God, and I shut the door quick. So it was funny. So just realize that before you turn the shower, maybe turn on a little bit to make sure that the wand's not blasting you in the face. Pillows. They're pretty good. Little squishy. They keep somewhat form, but they're not awful. And the ones, I have a king bed over here, and they're decent size. They're almost full body pillows, but not full body pillows. They're very close, but they're bigger than like the normal pillows. And you get 4. But because I'm only one person on this trip, it hasn't been a huge ordeal, but I would probably have to ask for an extra one if my wife was here, because she likes to be slightly propped up. So yeah, I'd give the pillows a 7 out of 10. They weren't bad at all. They're not as terrible as some of the ones I've run into. Maid service totally fine. I've had it 2 days. They've been great. And the balcony's amazing. So I have like a partial ocean view, but I also have a nice shot of Marco Island itself, and you can see the canals that kind of run throughout the island behind me, so a nice shot there. But I like that glass banisters, which are great. I saw that on the Island Tower and the Palm Tower, they have just like regular like slotted banisters. But the other really cool thing about the balcony on the adult side is they have full walls as well. Where on the island and Palm side, you'll be able to see, you can actually see your neighbor's balcony like all the way down. So they like they arc out, but the walls don't come out far enough so you can see everybody's balcony like down the road, which I'm not a huge fan of that at all. I like having, privacy on the balcony, which you have over here, which is great. So talking about the other rooms, they very set up kind of similar. You walk in and the bathroom's like right on your right hand side, and then very similar setups in the bathrooms with the 2 sinks and the shower, but their closet's not across from the bathroom, it's kind of in line. The one they showed me for the 360 view, it was a partial golf, partial pool view, which I don't have a pool view, I'm on the outside of this setup, but yeah. King bed, basic TV. This TV's on the wall. I think the TV in that wasn't on the wall, it was actually on the dresser. And then once again, walking out to their balcony, you can see other people and their balconies, unlike on this one, actually have full walls. So that's, I think, all I have for the room itself. The last thing I want to talk about is the elevators. The elevators are excellent here. Even on the island and the Palm side, from what I've heard with the people I'm with, no issues with the elevators. They're quick. There's, I think, 3 per tower, I believe, and you don't wait very long at all. And they're very efficient. Like, they're not clunky. The doors open quick, and they're just, I don't know, they're tight is the word I keep thinking of. Like, the experience with the elevators is really good, and you're not waiting long, and they're just very efficient. So huge kudos for that. So that's everything I have for video 1. I see I'm just at 27 minutes, so that's kind of a sweet spot, a little bit over 25. That is the resort layout and the room quality. Once again, video 2 is going to be restaurants. Video 3 is going to be pools and beaches. If you have any questions, as always, in my videos, please leave them down below, and I'll try to answer anything I can. If I don't know, I will let you know, or I can at least maybe try to find out for you, or let you know where to go. But that is resort layout, room quality, video 1, and stay tuned and check out the next video for video 2, restaurants. Thanks.